Man, it's about to be the hottest motherfucking podcast rocking right here. Going down. It's really popping off around this week, man. Let's go, man. Welcome to the Second Chance Podcast on the all-new Urban Broadcast Network. I want to make sure you heard that. I said the all-new Urban Broadcast Network. And here on the Second Chance Podcast, this is what real stories, real people, real problems. But guess what? We turned it into real purpose with real solutions, just like I did. I had a heart attack. Actually, let's rewind that. Let's go all the way back. My second chance actually began at birth. Most people don't know this, and a lot of y'all are hearing this for the first time on the Second Chance Podcast. I was born with the heart murmur, meaning I was born with the heart defect. And that heart defect, just like many other children that are born, 9 out of 10 children are born with some kind of congenital heart defect. I was one of them. Mine was kind of misdiagnosed as a kid as well. So again, my second chance began more when I was a child. And when I speak to that, when I say it began as a kid, because early on, it was just diagnosed as I had real bad asthma, not even knowing I actually had heart problems. So throughout my early childhood and, having to break off from, my parents like I did, it caused some disruption. It caused a big gap in knowledge. And that's part of the biggest part of second chances. And my second chances, gaining more knowledge. And that's why I put a book out called The Power of Second Chance. Because when you access as we say, when you know better, you do better. So I wrote a book about it. And I got some literature here that I'm gonna kick it with y'all about, like I said, about congenital heart defects and how they affect us in the black community, especially as black males, and how we got to start addressing that. So again, this is a real problem. It's a real problem that not only I face, but parents, uncles, brothers, cousins, baby daddies, and others. They're all facing the same thing that I face. And some people doing the same thing like I did. Not getting the checkups, not taking their meds, not being aware, not paying attention to the triggers. Because that's the biggest part of the second chance, is being aware of those triggers and moving on it. A lot of times we learn stuff, we know stuff, and we don't move on it until it's the last minute, or sometimes, unfortunately, especially with heart problems, it's too late. But that's what the second chance is about. We're going to learn, we're going to have fun. Some of y'all going to cry a little bit. I'm going to cry with you sometime. I'm Devin Carter's son, so yeah, I'm going to shed a few tears here and there and let y'all know how I really feel. I don't mind holding it back sometime. Again, I done had my entire chest cut open before. I shed tears before, but I didn't have it. Again, this is the Second Chance Podcast. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to have many guests coming up on the episode. So make sure y'all watch the Second Chance Podcast and many of the other shows on the Urban Broadcast Network. This is Detroit's premier new urban broadcast network and go-to platform for urban media. So make sure you tune in, you share, you like, and engage with the content you see on the Urban Broadcast Network, especially here on the Second Chance Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome back to the Second Chance Podcast on the Urban Broadcast Network. This is where you'll hear real stories, real problems, turned into real purpose. And my second chance, again, as you heard on the previous segment, it started back when I was born with the heart defect. But the biggest problem started, the biggest alarm bell went off in 2017, right before Christmas, just after getting my daughter Serenity to foster care. I suffered a massive heart attack, actually 2 days after a stage play. And one day before the next performance, had another performance scheduled the day before, and had a massive heart attack in the home in front of my 7-year-old at the time, my 7-year-old son, and my 4-year-old daughter. Fear, hysteria, pain, the ultimate crash out. I woke up in vomit, in pain, not knowing I was having a heart attack. Thank God I actually woke up and then struggling in my vomit, trying to make it to the bathroom, passed out. And shout out to my son, Mark Anthony, my namesake. When you talk about saving, my boy, he saved me, man. Because he called 911. He was able to go downstairs. I had neighbors at the time. When you talk about second chances, my son, my own namesake, who I talked about in this book, this ain't just something that I just wrote down, just some stuff for you to just hear, just to fill up a book with some words. It's real stories. My son actually was called 911 and saved my life during the first heart attack. Why is that so pivotal? My father died of a heart attack. I wasn't able to, well, I wasn't even old enough to operate a phone back then and use a phone and be able to call someone. So the second chance, my son was able to save me. I lost my father to a heart attack. My son was able to save me during that first heart attack and help me where I'm able to share this story with you today. So second chances are real. They really, really real. And that second chance, even the first time when I had that heart attack, yeah, I changed some of the things. And that's why this podcast is so important. And I'm speaking to every person out there, is you have to learn how to pace yourself. If you don't really access it, you can say everything, you can talk and think you're going to just talk the talk. But having open heart surgery 7 years later showed me that I really hadn't changed those ways and changed all the habits that I needed to change from that first heart attack into the second heart attack where I needed open heart surgery. So that's why the second chance is so important. So you got a brother out there, you got a father out there, you got an uncle, your granddad, and you know they're going through some things right now. They got medicine, they got checkups, they need to go to the doctor, they need to get at least an hour a day of movement. We're going to talk about that on some of the other episodes. And women, especially, y'all have to move. You have to move at least an hour a day. Movement in your body and your heart, that is important, especially with our women, especially with our mothers. We lose, right after my heart surgery, I lost my Aunt Sabrina. Love you, Auntie. Near and dear, my mom's last sister that was alive, who actually walked me and coached me through the heart surgery. I lost her right after the surgery to heart failure as well. We lost our great grandmother, Irene McMillan, to heart surgery. So men, women, it's important to get our checkups. When we hear our great grandmothers and our loved ones and our elders telling us that heart failure and high blood pressure is the silent killer, they not playing. It's real. It really is a silent killer. And you don't understand how I feel till you land on that bed and they're telling you that they about to take these instruments over here that look like something out of a Freddy or Jason movie, and they about to use that shit on you. The biggest fear, you ain't faced no fears yet until you see that stuff, and they telling you about to get opened up like a can. You know how we used to open up the can back in the hood? When you ain't had the can open, you had to stick that knife inside there and grind and pull that mug around. That's the same way the robots do when they opening up your heart for heart surgery. It's one chainsaw. Well, it's not a chainsaw. It's a sawzall cutting you, and then it's a robot pulling you. Like I used to have to pull that can and pull that knife around with that torque. That's what the robot's doing. They're using torque to open you up. So you either want to take them checkups, take the medication, and we're going to talk about the holistic approach to that. Because that's another big thing. Everybody, we're getting stuck with a lot of these medications and these placebos and these things we can't even pronounce. I probably got 2 or 3 meds that I have trouble pronouncing to any of the cardiologists each week. I'm like, you say it to me. Some of the names sound so funny. I'm like, no, you say it. Let me hear you say it. Because I've been calling it one thing. That ain't even names. Yeah, I've been calling it hypothoracic and this hyperothorax, something totally different. I'm like, man, wait a minute. But that's us not paying attention. That's the power of a second chance. That's why this book, this is a manual. This is a blueprint for my son, for your son, your father, your brother, for them to pay attention. That's why I'm pointing on here like I'm doing in the book, for you to listen, for you to adhere, for you to pay attention. Just like you paying attention here on this podcast, the Second Chance Podcast on the all new Urban Broadcast Network. This is one of many podcasts where you're going to learn, you're going to listen, and you're going to have fun. And as I talked about earlier, I said I had some literature for you about congenital heart defects. We're going to talk about that in the next segment here on the Second Chance Podcast. Thank y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. I see the comments. I see y'all chiming in. I'm going to answer everybody's comments after we're done with this episode right here. We got to keep filming, but y'all tuning in and it's going well. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. Again, I'm Mark Anthony, your host, the Second Chance Podcast on the all new Urban Broadcast Network. Thank you for tuning in.
Action.
Welcome back to the Second Chance Podcast on the all new Urban Broadcast Network. This is what real problems, we got real solutions though. And sometimes we turn it into real purpose, just like I did. You got the book, The Power of Second Chance. And what you're able to do with this book is use it as a blueprint for anything that you're dealing with when it comes to a second chance. I don't care if you're dealing with relationships, somebody that left your ass, um, you done lost a job, you've been there 20 years, you know what I'm saying, your pension, your 401k, you always got a chance to have a second chance. And today, I got a unique guest with me. I don't got my brother on the episode today. I got Richard Carter on here, my motherfucking brother, you know what I'm saying? Good to have you, man. Welcome to the Second Chance Podcast, man. If y'all think I got a second chance, this is a hell of a second chance right here. First of all, welcome home, man. And keep up the good work, man. You've been kicking ass, man. You've been keeping consistent, and I like that. So I'm bringing people on with different phases and different elements of a second chance. Second chance will relate to any different, it's ambiguous, it's general, it's gonna relate to people coming home, again, people going through postpartum, women, different things, depression. We all are dealing with the second chance, and we all can use this incredible book, The Power of Second Chance, which can be got on Amazon and also at www.markanthonycarter.com. Make sure you go grab The Power of Second Chance. How you feeling today, man?
I feel excellent.
That's good. That's good, man. So we're talking about second chances, and I'm talking about mine as it relates to heart failure. We're actually going to talk about second chances as it relates to your health and as it relates to your own life. So second chances, man. Mine's about heart failure. I've been dealing with heart disease, as you know, of course, me and my own sibling. And this is my older brother, you know what I'm saying? I know he look young, y'all. Y'all probably can't tell. But yeah, this is my older brother. I'm proud to say that. That's big bro right there. So kick it with me, man. Let my listeners in the audience know, man, what the second chance mean to you.
Well, second chance mean to me, you get another chance at life, because the first chance you messed up, and you always get another chance, and you got to make the best of it.
Okay.
Because if you don't make the best of it, who knows if you'll get another chance ever again.
So talk about some of the mistakes, man. Talk about some of the things some of the ways that, because that's the biggest part about second chances, is you have to access and know and be real and be accountable for that first mistake. What's some of the first mistakes? Second chances with yourself. Tell the audience about some of the mistakes and some of the second chances, some of the first chance you had with failure and mistakes that allowed you to step into your second chance.
Well, I made a lot of mistakes in doing crime or whatnot, and this last time was a wake-up call when I almost got 40 to life.
Oh, man.
So
It was 40?
40 to life, yes. And thank God that I was able to escape having to go through that, through a second chance,
Really?
of giving myself up for 3 years.
So what it took, because you could have accessed and actually, crashed out and flopped and did more time and still been in there. What did it take? What did you tap into? What did you use? What did you lean on to help you access your second chance?
Well, I leaned on reading books and staying away from those who was more trouble and troublemakers and things of that nature, and I kept myself productive. Had me a job in there and whatnot in the kitchen, and I did what I was supposed to do, so that way I know I was coming home. Because once when the guy found out that you got less time to them and you got more time to you, they try to make you crash out. They test you and all kind of things.
So how do you feel about second chances as it relates to your health? Tell us about some of the health scares that you've had to overcome as it relates to the second chance.
I had one big health scare in Kentucky. I had caught COVID, and at the same time, somebody had gave me an aspirin, and I'm allergic to aspirins. So, and I was basically dead, and it was like I heard the Heavenly Father call my name, and after that, I woke up and I didn't know where I was, didn't have no family, no friends, and it was very scary being there in that hospital bed by myself and not knowing no one.
Talk about that real quick. I spoke about that in the book. When you talk about support and that laying in the bed, having a small support system, what does it take to keep going and keep saying, I'm actually going to go ahead and keep moving through this?
Well, thinking about my loved ones that was here in Detroit, I couldn't leave you, bro, and my children, behind.
Thanks, man.
So I had to keep forward, and he brought me back for a reason, and I believe it was for y'all.
For real, man. Glad you came back too, man. It was crazy and unfortunate that as soon as you came back, I ended up having the heart problems in a car accident. I'm like, oh man, it's crazy. I'm sick of you. I just got back home and I was experiencing all that stuff. But hey, you stayed right there, supported me, stayed in the hospital right there, stayed on me, man, and been on me ever since. Like I said, I'm proud of you, man. You really stepped into your own second chance. I can't wait till we add this second revised edition, the third edition to the Power of Second Chance, where we'll be adding your addition to it as well. So talk about some of the things, the next plans for you as well as it relates to your second chance. What can people expect? What can the listeners see you and what can they hear from Richard?
Well, you can always see me in the 313.
That's what's up. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm always going to be productive and stay on top of things and still do my home improvement as I do.
So yeah, what kind of work you be doing, man? What you mean? What's up? Let the listeners know, man. Which a lot of people always need some little work.
Painting, drywall, things of that nature to try to keep afloat,
Okay, that's what's up, man. Yeah, that's what's happening. That's for real. You gotta stay occupied. You see what I do, I stay with the writing, stay doing our podcast, and just stay busy. And that's what and I learned that a lot from you as well. That's something that you done rubbed off on me as well, just staying busy. Just like I do with my regular job during the daytime, staying busy, keeping occupied, trying to fix little stuff. I tell people all the time, like, my brother really wanted to do all the fixing stuff. I'm just showing y'all little stuff that he showed me over the years, you know what I'm saying? They think I can really do some stuff, and I be telling them, no, I learned that from Big Bro. But definitely thank you for coming out, man, to the podcast.
Thank you for having me,
bro. Man. You're more than welcome, man. So you gonna come do some other shows with us, man? We got a lot of other content, man, a lot of other hosts. We got like 20 other shows on the Urban Broadcast Network, and we need you to come through and help us out, man, and help us construct and kick it with the young folks too.
Sure, I would love to.
That's what's up, man. Y'all heard it right here. He made the commitment. He gonna be on the Urban Broadcast Network. We got a youth build, man, program where we're teaching youth how to build using a hands-on approach. So we need you with that piece right there.
No problem.
So look forward to seeing them more on the Urban Broadcast Network, man. Thank y'all for listening and tuning in to the Second Chance Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Anthony. I had Rich on here with me today, man. So make sure y'all tune in, download, share the Urban Broadcast Network, the all new Urban Broadcast Network. This is the Second Chance Podcast.